doctor named Dr. Botke. And remember, guys, I need you all to take notes because as you guys are investigators, I want you all to make sure that you have proof of everything that we're saying so that if you ever have to share this with anybody, you're in a position to do it. I want you guys to notice something. He's explaining how the cell works and just the depth of my goodness, just the creation
Welcome to
of God.
USAWatchdog.com. With us, our next guest is a world renowned medical doctor, microbiologist, expert in biology, expert in all things that are this whole COVID thing, from the infection to the injections, and he's going to come on and explain. He's called it the worst. Hold on, let me make sure I get this absolutely correct. He's called it the worst man-made disaster in the history of the earth. This whole COVID injection thing. He is Dr. Sushret Bhakdi. He's taught at the university level, MD. He's won all kinds of awards in science and in medicine. And so I want to bring him on. And Dr. Bhakdi, hold on. Let me get there. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. Your premise is that these shots make your body attack itself. Your body starts attacking itself from the time you get injected. Is that correct?
Yes.
Explain.
Okay. Listen, everyone, I'm glad to be here with you. Look, do you see this?
Yes, back it up
If
a little
your
bit.
cell
There you go.
makes a protein, fragments of this protein, like sawdust, are going to be put out in front of your cell. Circles, triangles, these are bits and pieces of that protein. These bits and pieces are going to be recognized by your so-called killer lymphocytes. 1, 2, 3. These are clones that have locks that fit the keys, the circle, the triangle, the rectangle. Now, if they see this cell and the locks fit the keys, these cells are going to try to kill this cell. This is called immune attack. Now, is that all right?
You got it right. Yep.
The wonderful thing is that if these fragments are fragments of what you are yourself producing yourselves, then these killer lymphocytes are going to be silenced throughout life. They will not attack your own cells. This is what one calls self-tolerance. That was what you were born with. But if the cells see something in red that is created by non-self foreign proteins, like the proteins of the coronavirus, the flu virus, the measles virus, whatever you want, they will attack and try to kill the cells that produce these proteins. Now, the great question in science 60 years ago was, are these locks that are produced by cells that see the fragments of non-self and the locks that are produced by cells that see yourself, are they created because of instruction, meaning that these foreign proteins of viruses tell the cells to make the locks that fit the keys? Or is it so that the locks are created haphazardly, by chance, God says, do it. It's like lottery. And if you create a lock that happens to see this key, it will bind, and then this cell will be destroyed. And the answer that came decades ago, that anyone can read about in any textbook of immunology. Unfortunately, I was not one of the discoverers of this, because if I had discovered this, I would now be a multimillionaire sitting on Nobel Prizes. They found out, my colleagues, whom I revere, that the creation of locks that see non-self and the creation of locks that see self is just chance. It's haphazard. It just happens, okay? Now, the next wonderful thing that was discovered was that if you have locks that see your own keys, these killer lymphocytes are going to be silenced throughout life, put somewhere so that they can do no mischief and harm. Therefore, every child that is born today, yesterday, and tomorrow is born with locks and lymphocytes that will always recognize non-self, which is essentially all the viruses, anything you want to say. Now, when these cells, recognizing non-self, spring into action, let us say a child has a coronavirus infection. The infected cells build the virus protein. The virus protein has fragments on the surface of this cell. The activated lymphocytes are going to now call on the brothers and sisters, which are the B cells. And the B cells will now make antibodies, these are antibodies, that will see not the fragments, but the total protein, like the spike fragment of the coronavirus on the cell. And then what happens is a dual attack of the two major armed forces of the immune system. First, the killer lymphocytes that will recognize the fragments, attack and kill the cell. Second, the antibodies that will bind to the finished protein that is produced by the cell. And these antibodies are going to recruit the second arm of the immune system, which is called complement. And the complement system is going to attack these cells and also kill them. Now you see that this arrow is much bigger than this, because killing by killer lymphocytes is silent death, but killing by complement and antibodies is violent death. This is what causes massive inflammation and massive tissue destruction. I actually had the great fortune to discover how complement killed cells.
God
And that
literally,
was what
protein fragments, God literally placed in the body. So if it identifies one of these shapes, then it's taken into the cell. But what the spike protein does, I'm gonna go towards the end.
now.
What the spike protein does is it creates foreign proteins. It's a foreign protein to the body. So what it causes the body to do is to attack itself. because this isn't identified in your body at all, anywhere in the structure of how God made you. So when the spike protein comes into the body, literally, your body starts to fight against itself and it begins to destroy itself. That's why this is so dangerous. But remember, we're talking about the mystery of the 8 health laws. So we're going to talk about how God is able to even heal this type of situation and how you're able to, at least by God's grace, fight against it, okay? Because they made this in such a way where to destroy you. So that's why it's so important. And God is so good in giving us grace and understanding that they're coming around with something more. And with them coming around with something more, we have to be prepared. And even now, before other vaccinations are placed against us and mandated against us, we have to know that there are ways that we can fight against this now.
And what brings me to you today. But that is another story. Now, look at this. This.
Oh, it's upside down. It's upside down, Doc.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. There you go. Hit it.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
A vessel. This is blood in the middle. One is the intact vessel wall, as you and I have. Now you have to realize that our vessels pervade throughout our bodies, and the cells that line these vessels inside are the most abundant cells in your body. Now, 2, this is the injected gene-based vaccine. Why is the gene-based vaccine in the blood? Question mark. Because, as we all should know, if you inject these packages of genes into your muscle, a large part is going to enter the bloodstream. There's no way to prevent this. And anyone who defies this is lying. They are lying. It is now known that in animals and in man, those injectables are going to enter the bloodstream. When they enter the bloodstream, they are bound to bind to and enter the cells that line your vessel wall. Why? Because once anything is in your bloodstream, any big particle like these damn vaccines, they will never be able to leave the bloodstream again. Your bloodstream, these are canals that are the wonder of God. They're a network that are absolutely impenetrable. You cannot get out of the bloodstream. That's why, of course, you don't have your proteins seeping out into your tissues. You don't have those blood cells coming out into your skin. You don't see them. They can't get out, okay? Now, when these genes, packages, enter the cells, then the cells will start making this damn virus protein, which is called the spike. But, let me tell you, this is going to happen to any mRNA or gene-based vaccine. Those packages are going to cause your cells in the blood vessels to create this protein. And this protein is going to be a foreign non-self protein that is going to be recognized by any antibodies that you have. And these antibodies are going to be there after the first injection. 10 days after the first injection, these antibodies are going to be there. They're going to bind. They're going to cause complement to attack the vessel wall, and moreover, of course, the killer T lymphocytes are also going to attack the vessel wall, and so the vessel walls are going to come under dual attack by the entire immune system. This never happens otherwise. If your vessels are attacked, and I'm talking about large vessels, medium-sized vessels, small vessels, the smallest vessels in all the organs of your body, what is going to happen? Those vessels are going to become leaky, and these genes are going to leak out into the organs and seed. They are going to become the seeds of autoimmune attack by these mechanisms of nerve cells, heart cells, liver cells, pancreas cells, any cells you want. And moreover, whenever you scratch on the tissues of the cell walls and injure them, there are going to be blood clots. We, I think almost 2 years ago, were warning everyone that blood clots are going to occur throughout the body. And this is what is happening now. So